We move now from one of Trump's attorneys and their embarrassing moments, his embarrassing moment, to another, and quite the unfortunate interview for this Drew Findling, who is, or Findling, who is another one of Trump's attorneys. And he appeared on CNN, and Pamela Brown, the CNN host, just grilled him perfectly. And all she really had to do was read a few facts about what Trump said on the Georgia phone call in regard to the Georgia investigation into Trump's attempts to overturn the 2020 election, specifically Trump calling Secretary of State of Georgia Brad Raffensperger saying, "Find me 11,780 votes," and just pretend that he didn't use these words I'm about to use, but pretend that I'm the actual winner of the state of Georgia in the presidential election, which that seems like it's interfering in an election, right? You're trying to get the election officials involved in the election to overturn it and declare you the winner with no evidence. But here is this on CNN with his lawyer.
Is this at the center of this case, right? The phone call. There's three. Here's one. I want to play a part of a phone call from then President Trump to Georgia Secretary of State Raffensperger. That is part of the evidence in this case. Let's listen.
So, look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
Are you worried the facts in this case are not favorable to your client, given what we just heard there and other calls?
Yeah, so what I'm worried about is that people just listen to 8 or 9 seconds.
It's almost as if a little part of his moral self somewhere deep down in there needed the universe to hear him answering that question. Yes, I am scared. Because look.
Your client, given what we just heard there and other calls?
Yeah, so what I'm worried about is...
yeah, no. Nice.
...is that people just listen to 8 or 9 seconds and don't really look at evidence. So we look at 62 minutes, we look at all the evidence. And looking at all the evidence, we understand and we know that our client did not break any laws whatsoever. But
she's going to bring this up in a second, but it's not out of context. She has this transcript there, and one time, I don't know why, this was painful experience, but listen to the entire call, and it's definitely not out of context. The more that you listen of the call, the more bonkers it gets, meaning realizing how much he was pushing, and he just kept trying to get them to cave in and throw out our free and fair election in the state of Georgia.
But I don't want to dismiss what you said about the judge saying everything's cool, because most people would say to themselves, when does a judge go around giving a tour to the press and give 6 or 7 interviews? That never happens. At the same time, you never see a 4-person giving interviews.
Right, but that's what the judge said. But hold on, before I do want to focus on this, because you said essentially that that it was taken out of context. I mean, we've read through the whole transcript again today. He said, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have because we won the state. Leading up to that point, though, he laid out several conspiracy theories that have been disproven to support his claim that he wanted Raffensperger to overturn the election in Georgia. He also went on to say, I have to find 12,000 votes and I have them times a lot. How is that okay? What is an innocent explanation for that if you're saying that is okay?
So what I'm going to say, Pamela, is I'm not going to try the case with you or anybody else on TV or in the media. I mean, that's something you deal with in court. I'm really here to talk about a motion that we filed looking at.
Then he goes on. We mentioned in a past segment that Trump's lawyers are trying to get thrown out the evidence from the special grand jury. You heard him mention the 4-person who had appeared in the media, which admittedly she shouldn't have done that, but definitely not a justification to throw out all the evidence against Trump. But I do think if charges are brought in Georgia, if Fannie Willis, District Attorney of Fulton County, brings charges in relation to the attempts by Trump to overturn the 2020 election in the state of Georgia, she's right now apparently what's being considered by prosecutors is racketeering, conspiracy, and election interference we talked about yesterday yesterday on the show. And if those charges are brought, I do think that's a case that could actually be won by the prosecution because of even just publicly how much evidence we're aware of Trump trying to interfere with the election, with the democratic process, and pressuring election officials and trying to get involved in a way that is profoundly inappropriate within, like I said, our democratic process. But we'll see how it plays out. And gotta say, that did not go too well for Drew Findling. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before all the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get the full bonus show every single Saturday, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley. Link in the description.